right, welcome back to In the Hype Seat. I'm Holly Meyer Lucas. I am your host, and I'm today interviewing Randy Sauder. And this conversation was such a fun conversation. I went into this conversation knowing very little about this man. He was referred to us by Carrie Hazy, who is the owner of Flavor South Florida. And Randy's the owner of Sauder's Landing in Nettles Island, just here in South Florida. If you're familiar with Nettles Island, it's just such a cool spot. And his restaurant is right there in the marina. And he's a veteran of the restaurant world. And so we talk about his career working in corporate restaurants and opening Perkins and just all kinds of things, and then eventually settling into opening Sauder's Landing. And it was such a fun conversation. Like I said, I went into it kind of flying blind a little bit, and I'm so glad that I had him here in the Hype Seats. Please enjoy Randy Sauder. Are the cameras rolling? Okay. Are we going?
Oh my God.
Let's go, Randy.
Okay.
Let's go. Randy Sauder, no N.
No N.
Oh my goodness. Can I tell you what just happened?
Go ahead.
So do you know Randy Sauder with an N?
I do not.
Up by you in Nettle. So I just did a whole deep dive Google search on this guy there's a guy named Randy Sauder who also owns a restaurant up there. But I did this whole deep dive. And so now I'm coming into this, like, I'm not coming into it cold because I realized it when I was coming in here. But
Sure.
Okay, so to kick things off, I would love for you to tell the good people who you are, about your restaurant. Give us like the elevator pitch on Sauder's Landing.
Well, I mean, we've been there for 11 years. The location has been there for probably like 40 years. We're actually inside Nettles Island, which is a kind of a resort complex off of A1A. And so you have to go through a guard gate. But I've been in restaurants since I was 15, and I'm getting close to 68 now.
Oh my gosh.
So it's been a long
You're 68?
time. Yeah.
67? Dang.
It's the Oriental blood.
Are you?
We always look younger.
What's your heritage?
I'm Korean.
Okay.
So I was adopted when I was 6. My sister was 9.
Oh, cool.
By U.S. parents. They were in the mid-50s. So, and this was back in 64. And so back then, the Korean conflict ended up happening in the mid-50s. And so everything was all torn apart, and there was a lot of construction going on. And probably had the two of us, we were in an orphanage. Had we not been adopted, we probably wouldn't be alive today.
No kidding.
Statistically, that just didn't happen.
Wait, take me through that. God, we just dove headfirst in. I love this. I'll talk about this all day. So you were adopted from Korea, and at the time, anyone that's not familiar with the history there, can you just give like what
Well,
you mean by that?
There's always been conflict, like you talk about the Middle East, there's been conflict for thousands of years. Same thing on the Korean Peninsula, Japan, China. There's been conflict between those three nations forever. And, there have been different times where Japan invaded Korea and took us over. Our country typically ended up being the one that ended up being occupied. We were not the occupiers. So, that's kind of how that went. And of course,
South Korea, right?
South Korea, right.
Yeah.
So at that one point in time during the Korean conflict, it was Korea, and then the North invaded the South and so on and so forth, and the U.S. got involved. But, my story is that, and a lot of this comes from my sister. She's 9, so she remembers more.
I was going to ask that. So you were 7.
I was 6 when I was adopted,
okay.
and she was 9.
Okay.
I was probably 3 or 4, maybe, I'm guessing, at the time that we actually went into the orphanage. And the only thing I remember of that is apparently the story is that my mother couldn't afford to support the 2 kids. So she made an arrangement with the Holt Adoption Agency in, I believe it's Seoul, and made an arrangement where she would drop us off and they would come and get us. And so my memory of that is that there's a long alleyway, not brick walls, but cement walls on both sides. And somewhere down in the middle of that is a little cart vendor that has candy and popcorn, stuff like that. So Mom takes us there and gets us something. And of course, that was like a huge treat for us at that time. And we're talking, and when we turn around, she's no longer there.
Wow.
And there's a gate right there. So she had it all planned. And so the gal comes out from the orphanage through the gate and takes us in, and that's how we ended up at the orphanage.
No way.
So, we've tried, I think my sister has had semi-contact maybe with somebody that purported to be our siblings.
Oh, no kidding.
But nothing ever came of that. So I don't know what the deal there was.
Wow. I'm like processing that. Like your mom knowing that she couldn't support you and giving you up and just turning around and walking away, like having to.
How could you do that, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not being negative about the fact. I'm being appreciative.
100%. Yeah.
That you could give your children up, because I think about giving mine up. It's like, oh no,
I can't even
do it, right?
I truly can't imagine. Yeah. I think the bravery there too, for her to walk away and then like give you the opportunity to just be fresh, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, and not like, God, that's so crazy. How does your sister feel about it? Like, is she grateful to be in the?
Oh, absolutely. So my sister's still in Mansfield, Ohio. That's where we grew up. So I guess I go back. We were originally adopted into Anaheim, California. So there was a plane load of 50 parents out of Orange County, California.
Americans?
Yes. This is 1964. So they all got together and decided they wanted to adopt children, and they chose the Holt Adoption Agency in Seoul, Korea. So they chartered the old Flying Tiger line for prop jobs back in the day. So they flew over all 50 sets of parents. They came and met there. And of course, there's correspondence, there's pictures, and so on and so forth. Okay. And the parents say yes or no or whatever.
And this back in the day, I mean, this is before the internet, right? So it's snail mail pictures of children.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And did you and your sister, were you a package? Like, was that?
Well, see, originally they had sent the pictures of myself and my sister to my parents, Ora and Dora Sauder were their names.
Wait, what are their names?
Ora and Dora.
Oh, I love that.
I know. You know, who would?
Wait, your dad's name's Ora?
Ora Oliver.
A-U-R-A?
O-A.
O-R-A. Got it. Okay. Is that short for something?
And Dora. No.
Just his name?
Yeah. He was the youngest of 11.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So back in the day, they had lots of kids.
Got it. Okay.
So anyways.
Wait, they had 11? Okay, keep going. Yeah. I'm going to
sure,
make a running note of my questions.
Okay.
You continue on, sir.
So they all came over, and they spent about 3 or 4 days there. They came and met the kids. But originally what happened was that the pictures were sent, and originally mom and dad didn't want me. They wanted my sister, again, in the mid-50s. So they weren't really, in the market for babies either, okay? So, and then apparently my sister says, no, I can't go.
Oh, wow.
So.
Oh.
Marianne. So we came over in 64, stayed at a hotel in downtown Seoul, and you get flashes from that age because, I'm only 6 years old. You're looking out over the hotel window, 30 stories, and there's a huge long hill, and you got to remember 55, 54, that's when the conflict was, and Seoul was shelled, and they were doing reconstruction. And there was a long line, looked like ants from that distance, of Korean women, baskets on their heads full of rocks.
Wow.
They're bringing the rocks from the bottom of that hill up and cleaning it up for the construction part of it. Again, just a flash of what I remember.
So interesting.
So then we got on the plane. We went from Seoul, Korea to Anchorage, Alaska.
When you were, did your parents, Marianne?
Marianne?
Did that happen in Korea? Like your parents were there to pick up her?
Yeah.
And so she refused to be separated from you?
This happened before. There was correspondence before they even came.
Oh, okay.
And so at that point in time, Marianne says, no, I can't leave my brother.
Oh.
So.
That's like, I feel like, God, as a mom, are you listening to this, Ashley? Producer Ashley? I feel like as a mom, like I think there's nothing more that I would want to instill in my own kids than them not leaving each other behind. I mean, that at its base, at its core is like what you want your kids to do for each other, Okay. So, gosh dang it, Randy, we're 2 minutes into this. Come on. Mike, were you ready for this? I was ready to talk about Nettles Island. Like, come on. We were going to talk about Nettles Island and Friday.
So, but anyway, so we get on the plane again, Seoul, Korea to Anchorage, Alaska to LAX. And then we lived in Anaheim. We lived on 1928 Robert Lane, and that was in Anaheim, California.
From that area. She's from,
is that right?
Yeah, she's from Yorba Linda, close to there. Like in Florida here, we don't have a lot of West Coasters. It's becoming more prevalent, but I feel like not a lot of people are here. Like it's so heavy from the Northeast, So when
the Midwest.
Yeah, in the Midwest too.
Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, so on and so forth. So we lived a mile from Disneyland. In the summers, you would sit out in the backyard and you could see the fireworks go off every night.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that was pretty cool.
So a couple of follow-up questions.
Yep.
First of all, did you understand when you were 6 years old, did you understand what America was?
Absolutely not.
Interesting.
had probably been on some kind of a motorized vehicle at that point in time in my life. Never been on a plane, never imagined what a plane was.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that too.
So,
like, did you have any comprehension of what was happening when you got on the plane? That's so interesting.
I do remember a flash where I'm looking out over the window, and of course, you're above the clouds. Now, I'm 6 years old, and I've maybe been on one bus in my life. To comprehend what that means or what you're seeing,
yeah,
pretty scary.
Were you scared or
Oh,
excited?
yeah.
Or yeah,
scary.
Were the conditions at your orphanage, like, were you wanting to get out of there?
I don't really have that much of a memory there. You know, just flashes. You see, you had classes. I can remember the shoes that I had, and I think I actually have a pair, or my sister has probably. Really thin rubber, and I'm probably one of the youngest kids, and then all the kids go from class to class. It's in the middle of winter, and so you take your shoes off, of course, when you go into the rooms, into the classes, and invariably, every time I come out, I'd have the wrong shoes. One big one, one small one, whatever.
Oh, funny.
So I can remember that. I remember looking out over the snow. Snow is pretty deep in Korea, and I remember, must have been during Christmas time. I can remember little GI heads on top of the snow, and it was GI soldiers coming in their Jeeps, and the snow was deep enough where when you're looking out over it, all you see is his heads.
Oh, interesting.
They would come and bring gifts and stuff like that.
God, that's so interesting. What did your parents do?
Dad, at the time, worked at UPS. Pretty amazing guy, actually. First time he'd been married. Okay, so he didn't get... Our parents really didn't talk about their relationship or how they met or how they got married. They just didn't talk about that. That was that generation.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I don't know a whole lot of details of that. As all I know is that Dad worked at UPS. He washed trucks at night, all the UPS trucks. Never made more than $8 an hour in his lifetime.
Wow.
Okay? Paid cash, everything. House, cars, 2 trips to Japan, 2 trips to New Zealand, camping every summer. He had a camper. We would go up to the Sequoia National Park. There's pictures of us, all the family with our arms all interlocked, trying to reach around one of the big sequoia trees. So all that stuff, how they did it, I have no idea, because in this day and age, $8 an hour, how do you do that? How do you pay cash for everything?
Yeah. So are you the youngest of the 11, or are you on the...
Okay, you're talking about my dad.
Yeah.
Dad was the youngest of the 11 kids in his family.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So it's just you and your sister.
Right. Now, we think we had older siblings.
Oh, interesting.
And like I said before, apparently somebody had contacted Marianne at some point in time saying that they were, but nothing ever came of that. So,
have you ever done a DNI, like one of those, like 23andMe type things?
Because I really don't have any longing to do that.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
Mom and dad were mom and dad, and that's
yeah
all I knew, and that's all I really care to know.
That's probably healthy too. Like, oh, that's so interesting. Do you know your mom's name? Your birth mom?
No.
God, that's so interesting.
My name was Lee Young-kook.
Okay.
How's that go? Last name first.
Yeah.
So my last name was Lee.
Got
and
it.
then Marianne was Lee Young-bae.
Got it.
And at the time we came, we spoke Korean to each other. So someplace in the brain here, there's Korean there, but I have no idea where it's at.
I was just going to ask that. Do you speak Korean still, or no?
No.
Yeah.
Not a word.
Is it there? You've heard it, I'm sure, since? Like, have you?
I've heard it since, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, interesting. The language is so interesting. I speak German. I grew up in Germany. It's like when I click in and out of, like when I speak English, I have no accent. When I speak German, I have no accent. And it's there. Like there's a whole vocabulary. It's always so fascinating to me, like how your brain can just, especially as a mom now, I look at my kids and it's like I don't think I'm any more educated or any smarter than them by having a whole other catalog of words in my brain. It's so bizarre. And you obviously
and you don't even have to think about it when you switch.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just like click in and out. It's so interesting.
Weird, isn't it?
Okay, so you grew up in Anaheim. Did you go to high school there too?
No, so Anaheim, and then we moved to Rosalind Drive in Tustin.
Okay.
Memories there that's the time when they were taking down all the orange groves. At one point in time, California was just, covered in orange groves. So grew up there. Dad retires from UPS. There's a whole story there too. He retires from UPS, and they had their home was Mansfield, Ohio. That's where they came from.
Okay.
So they decided to retire there. So this is 69-ish, maybe 70. I'm in 7th grade. So Dad buys an old truck, open rear end, and he builds the doors to close it all in, loads all our stuff in there. We take off, and we don't go. So we lived in Tustin at the time, Bakersfield, and the truck breaks down. 2 or 3 days, gets it fixed. We go to Flagstaff, Arizona. It breaks down 2 or 3 days. And that's probably the first time I ever saw my dad cry.
Oh,
Because, you got your family, you're all loaded up, and so on and so forth. So eventually you get out. And we went to the Apostolic Christian Church at the time in Pasadena. And then there's a whole string of those churches that are mostly in the Midwest. And so as we traveled, Old Route 66 is how we came out. And before we even moved, every summer we would actually drive. Mom would start out with us 2 kids. Dad would still continue to work. And then Mom and the 2 kids, we would drive across the United States on Old Route 66,
wow.
go to Mansfield, Ohio. And we would stop in like Peoria, Illinois, and different places in the Midwest where we had family. And we'd stay there and stay the night or stay a couple nights and so on and so forth. And then Dad would fly back out to Ohio and meet us, and then he would drive back with us.
It's got to have given you a pretty good lay of the land of the United States of America.
What a trip. Kids today, they don't make that trip, but I mean, you start out in the West, you go over to the Sierra Nevadas, then you go into Arizona. Arizona was like there were spots where there was no speed limit at that time.
Oh, interesting.
Just like straight. And then you get through New Mexico, driving down off the mountains into Albuquerque, probably like one of the most beautiful sights you've ever seen. Yeah. And then you get, in plains, we would stop on the way back. Typically, we would stop at different places, Grand Canyon, so on and so forth, because that was kind of Dad's thing. And so I kind of do the same thing now. It's like, I kind of get off the Route 44 and I'll take the side street and go see something.
Yeah, I love doing that.
That was fun. And 10-cent Cokes, in a bottle. Oh, so good.
Well, in the radio, I always so I've done that so many times for different reasons. Just as a kid, and the thing that I always think about is clicking in and out of the radio stations as you pass through the local municipalities. And I always really enjoy listening to the radio ads, like the commercials in
local stuff.
Yeah, and getting a feel for the local accent, the local, just the local businesses. I always find that you can always, the one consistent thing straight across America, whether you're in upstate New York or California, across the entire United States, there's always one family that owns the big car dealership.
Yes.
And they always have radio ads, and they always sound the exact same, no matter what they're hawking. If it's Toyota, whatever.
That's right.
And it's always some guy.
And it's their name.
Daddy's
on the
daddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you moved to Mansfield, Ohio.
So Mansfield, Ohio, I was in 7th grade. In California, I was in all-white schools all the time. Hadn't really had any contact with Black people at all. So I went to Johnny Appleseed, which was the middle school in Mansfield, Ohio. 80% Black. At that time, there was a lot of social unrest going on. And so there were strange rules, strange to me, because I'm a kid from California, even though I'm Oriental. You can't say white milk. You got to say chocolate milk, or you got to say brown milk or whatever, but you can't say the white milk. Or so there were all kinds of there was all kinds of little rules that they had. Otherwise, you get in trouble, right? Not from the teachers, but from the student body.
Yeah, interesting.
So that was kind of a culture shock, but you adjust. And so I did a little track there when I was in school, and then went to Mansfield, Malabar, and graduated there. Went to General Motors Institute.
General Motors Institute?
General Motors Institute. So I graduated 76 in high school. And so I ended up getting offers I tested pretty high for my SATs. So I got offers from the military academies, from MIT, Caltech, and General Motors. Mom and Dad didn't have a whole lot of money, even though everything was free and clear, but still, it was up to me to take care of college. So I picked GMI because it was a co-op program. 6 weeks at a plant, 6 weeks at General Motors Institute in Flint, Michigan.
And was your sister in college at this point, or?
Mary Ann went to nursing school. So she finished that, and then I can't remember exactly when she got married. She met Dan, her current husband, I think they just passed their 50-year anniversary, and Dan Domka.
Where does she live now?
She still lives in Mansfield, Ohio.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, never moved.
I love it.
So she had 4 kids, and I think almost all of their kids had 4 kids.
Oh, wow.
So like when we go, she drags them all to the farm, and so we have a night where we have all the nieces and nephews, and we all meet, and we do a cookout and all that
That's
stuff.
remarkable from the woman in the alley that left you with an orphanage. That is remarkable.
Yeah.
That is so, so, so interesting. And like, cool isn't the right word at all, but that's thought-provoking.
You hear the story of the great American story, if you think about it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, think about what's the probability of a boy and a girl from Korea coming to the U.S. and that whole story and the scenario of what all the combinations were.
Yeah.
Pretty
yeah.
amazing.
It's remarkable. Aura and Dora.
Yeah.
Let's go. I love the name Aura. Are you familiar with the kids these days say Aura as like, oh, he's got a lot of aura, like A-U-R-A?
A-U-R-A.
Yeah, it's like the thing. I think that would be such a cool name, actually.
Dad has there's a street in Daytona Beach, right there.
Oh, really?
Right there where the main hub is, Aura Street.
Oh, really? Very cool.
So every time I'm there, I take a picture and I send it to my sister.
Oh, that's
I said I'm on Dad's street.
That's so funny. Okay, so you went to GMI.
Hated every second of it. And so what it was is you were in school, in class, in Flint, Michigan for 6 weeks. And then the following 6 weeks, you would go to a plant. I was based out of Delco Products plant in Dayton, Ohio, built probably turn of the century. 3 floors, no windows, dirty. And again, you got to think this is in the 70s, okay?
That is the beating heart of American industry. Like, my God, that is like as blue collar as it gets. Yeah.
But the reality of what it was that, stupid stuff happens. And it used to frustrate me as like you would, as a student, you were actually put in charge as a supervisor on a line. Well, if something came and a machine broke, okay, cost you tens of thousands of dollars every minute now, right? But the mechanic that was assigned to that line was on his 20-minute break. And so that was that thing with the unions and all that stuff that happened during that period of time, right?
Yeah,
and so it's like for 20 minutes now, you're sitting there and you're losing all that money because the guy's on break. Now, it could have been something simple. You could take a Phillips head screwdriver and fix it. You weren't allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of really frustrating for me, and I didn't really like it that much. So I stuck it out for 3.5 years.
Yeah. I know about that time of history. I think it's because I've learned about it. Obviously, I was not alive during that time.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that shaped so much of the way that the tech boom happened. Like in terms of people, like the startups that happened in the 80s, and I think American commerce being kind of anti-union, starting in because of the limitations that were in place during the 70s. Is that fair to say?
And I mean, at the beginning, of course, labor unions were definitely needed, right?
Yeah,
but then
100%.
it just swung so far in one direction that it had to correct at some point in time.
Yeah,
right.
It's such an interesting time in America too, with the Vietnam War, like that generation just kind of colliding, like coming back and colliding with you coming of age during that time, because they were already back by then, right? This would have been early 80s or late 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that's so interesting. We have, in a very, very different way, with the pandemic and with the recession, millennials have this interesting thing with our generation of how we graduated college during the recession and like couldn't get jobs, and then the pandemic hit and the housing market was insane. Like so many of us don't own our homes because of these factors, and so now we're staring down the barrel of a gun of our face and are like can't afford real estate. It's just so weird. And I feel like your generation, right in that, like where you graduated from college when Vietnam vets were coming back, like, is that fair to say? Like, was that like a weird time to be?
It was, but I mean, the opportunities available to me at that age were so much greater than they are for young kids today.
Interesting.
Because I mean, at 16, I went into a bank and I got a loan for my first car.
Interesting.
That's what happened back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay. And now that's not going to happen.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I remember, the first house the wife and I bought, it was, what was it? $224 a month.
Oh my God.
Was our payment.
That's crazy.
And now in the state of Florida, it's, your insurance and your property taxes are more than your mortgage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's what my FPL bill is. Like my utility bill is basically that at this point. That's really, really interesting. Okay, so how do you go from General Motors, Flint, Michigan, blue collar, but white collar, right? Because you were a trainee or you were an apprentice.
So that was basically kind of a training program for their mid-level managers coming out of school.
So do you consider yourself to be an engineer?
Yeah, that's what that was all about.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, industrial administration.
Got it. Okay.
That's basically what that was all about.
Okay.
So, and all the stuff that I learned at GMI, to this day, I don't use one bit of it.
I was just going to say, I bet the appliances at Sauder's Landing are all right and tight. Like, do you tinker with things? Like, are they all like very like well maintained?
Yes,
like,
absolutely. Yeah, that's the key.
Put myself through school as a bartender and working and I've always worked in restaurants. And man, the pride and ownership as an owner, if you own a restaurant, if you have an engineering background or any sort of pride, and like the longevity of a restaurant will extend tenfold by just taking care of your shit, for lack of a better. Clean it every day. Pick up those bar mats. Clean the
yes. Clean out your fryers. Don't let and I've worked in a lot of restaurants, and a lot of mom and pop restaurants where it's like, they'll keep that oil going for 4 or 5 days, and then they'll find, let's filter it today. So, quality of food.
Oh, I want to talk about this so bad. Okay, so get us from Flint to Nettles Island.
Oh my gosh, that's a long road. So when I was 15 years old, my sister Marianne was working as a waitress at Perkins on Lexington Avenue in Mansfield, Ohio. Don Granner was the owner, and so she got me in the door as a busboy at 15. And so during high school, I worked there and hung out with the cooks there and so on and so forth. And so when I graduated, I was working at Perkins, and then I went to GMI, and I went off there for like 3.5 years. And when I decided I didn't want to do it anymore, where did I go? I went straight back to Don Granner and said, hey, give me a job.
So Perkins, for anyone that doesn't know, is it's similar to like an IHOP, Denny's, Chili's hybrid, I would say, right? Is that fair? How would you describe it?
Perkins is probably the beginning of it, before IHOP and before the Denny's.
Yeah.
And it was based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, it had like the bakery thing where they actually did pies and cookies and so on and so forth. Yeah. And then, of course, breakfast was the main thing. Perkins, to this day, in my opinion, has the best pancake in the world.
100% they do. Absolutely. I agree.
And there's nothing even close to it.
I agree.
Cracker Barrel has a good pancake, but it's not Perkins. So anyway.
Why is it so good at Perkins?
It's the butter, they have the flour mix itself, which is proprietary, of course. And then you actually mix it up with buttermilk.
Oh, interesting.
So, we're with Cracker Barrel, because I've worked at both places now. I've managed at both places.
Oh, you have?
So with Cracker Barrel, it's open the package and
the consistency of it. It's like the way that it's cooked too. It's like, it's so, if you've had a Perkins
spongy.
pancakes, Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like the texture it's almost like you're eating kind of a cake.
And when you put the syrup on, it doesn't break down.
Yes.
Right?
Listen, have you ever been to Perkins? Oh, you need to go. And just have a pancake. And the syrup's different too. I feel like the syrup at Perkins is like,
well, depends.
Are you about
Perkins
to give me
has
some
proprietary
behind the scenes
syrup thing, right? Okay, so you have certain purveyors you're allowed to have, and the purveyors carry the stuff that they're supposed to carry. Now, as a franchisee, if you want to, you can choose to cheat. And you can get something that's cheaper and so on and so forth. Eventually, when the AD comes in, they find out and you get in trouble, so on and so forth. But
funny.
They have a good syrup, absolutely. So.
They always have the biggest flag of the entire world. They have these flags out front that are like, Old Glory has never been more glory-ish. It is the biggest American flag.
I can remember
bigger than
working at the Park Avenue store, Perkins in Mansfield, Ohio, and you would watch the weather because flag that big, you got to get it down before the storm, right?
Yeah. So as the manager, it's your responsibility.
You always wait like 2 minutes too long.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you'd be down there, and there'd be 3 or 4 of you trying to flag get down, and there are times when you would hold on the flag, and it would actually lift you off the ground because there was so much lift because the flag is so enormous, right? So,
Wait, and then there's so much etiquette around the flag too. Like you can't let that thing touch the ground.
I know.
How are you even taking that down?
Know.
It's like a freaking
Is it your life or is it the flag? I don't know.
Oh, I mean the flag every time.
Yeah.
That is so funny. That is like, I feel like if you know, you know. Like if you've seen the Perkins flag just whipping around there in a storm, like how are you gonna take it down? That's funny. So I want to get deeper in the weeds there. Where do you, and then I'll leave it alone, but where do you, when you take the flag down, where do you put it? Like because you have to like fold it up properly,
You have
right?
to fold it up properly, and then you just store it inside, and then when the storm comes,
Where like in the
passes
dish
away.
Like where like in your office?
No, in
like,
the office.
Like the hostess stand? Like where are you
in the
like
office.
storing this massive flag?
So,
I have so much anxiety over that. We have a flagpole here, and I am very, very patriotic, and I always stress so much that someone's gonna catch me doing the wrong thing with it by accident. Yeah, like it's gonna like hit the ground, or like it's tattered too much, or whatever. I own a real estate company, and one of the biggest things is if you have a flagpole and you have a flag, not to leave a tattered flag for the new owner, because you're putting it on them to have to do it the right way. Right. Respectfully, please take it down. I'm such a stickler for that. Okay, anyway, so you manage Perkins and you manage Cracker Barrel too?
So went back to Perkins, second shift supervisor, first shift supervisor in the kitchen, a kitchen manager, general manager, and then another guy and I actually bought out Don Granner at the Lexington Avenue location.
Oh, cool.
Lasted a very short period, 2 years. And so then I moved on, and I worked for various other big corporations, the old Sambo's chain. There were like 3,000 of those at one point in time. And then I worked for Applebee's. I went back to Perkins. Yeah.
When were you there?
This was on and off, probably over the course of the last 10 years or so, prior to Sauder's Landing.
Got it.
I went back to Perkins eventually, and ended up meeting the AD that was from corporate office, Jeff Smith there. At some point in time, and again, the dates kind of get, because this is like a long time in between, right? They were opening up Nashville, Tennessee for Perkins. So Jeff Smith calls me and says, "Hey, you interested?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'm interested." So the wife went up there, and we helped open Vanderbilt. There was 3 on Murfreesboro, and there was one other one that we opened there.
I know that one on Vanderbilt campus.
Yeah, right on the campus.
Big one, yeah. That's
I don't know if that's open
location.
Still anymore or not.
It was, 20 years ago, but
yeah. So it's a really unusual situation for Perkins to be in.
It is, yeah.
Right, yeah. So
I thought it was really cool, like how there was like a hometown kind of downtown Nashville, like that I used to live like right there. I went to University of Tennessee.
Great city.
Oh, it's the best.
Right.
But that Perkins was always.
Did you ever eat at Houston's downtown?
Yeah. Yeah, the best.
That's the prime rib I ever had in my life.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. It's not open anymore.
Yeah,
it's closed.
Right? Everything's turned over there. Well, and that's one of the things I really want to get in the weeds with you on is like the art of running a restaurant, man. Running a restaurant is so hard. It is so hard. I look at my real estate business and I'm like, oh, this is hard. And then I think of restaurant owners and I'm like, nope, not that hard.
It can be hard and it can be really easy.
Really?
It really can be.
Oh my God, I feel like that's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that.
The easy part of it, you can make it easy by just doing things in a scheduled pattern every day. So I'm Oriental.
Fair.
I tend to be black and white. Okay, I'm pretty, black, yes or no. And so, I'm, when I go in and open the restaurant, and I've done this for 40 years now, I do everything exactly the same. I walk in the door, I do this, I go get my prep lists, I go out to the walk-in coolers. Everything's done exactly the same. And at the beginning of it, what you do is you lay it all out, and these are all the things you got to hit. And so then you got to form that pattern, and then you just got to follow the pattern every day. So
that though is a leadership and a management and in my opinion, a give a shit factor. Like do your pride in what you do for.
Make sure you do the things you got to do every day,
even when you don't want to. Every single time, it's the same. So would you say that the success of a restaurant depends on the management doing things consistently? Is that kind of what you just said?
Do it consistent and just use common sense. It's not a great whole lot of brain work behind it all. You got to use some common sense, and you got to get your priorities straight of what's more important. Is it more important for you to maybe have a fancy dish, or is it smarter for you because of what the staff that you have or your abilities to do maybe something a little grade down, but just do it really, really well.
Yeah.
When we opened Sauder's Landing, we had a chef and we hired him. My son was there, and he was just kind of learning. He'd learned for a couple other chefs that were in Rotelli's in Lake Worth that we had. And so he was kind of second in charge. And so we set up the menu, and we told the chef, I said, let's do the menu, okay? And then we're going to do a taste test, okay? And the way the taste test is going to go is that we're going to sit there, and you're going to bring the plate out, and we're going to taste it. If we say, that's amazing, it goes on the menu. If it's anything less than that, you can't put it on the menu.
Yeah, get it
Why
off
bother,
the menu.
right?
Why would you bother? Yes.
So many times you go out to a restaurant and you say, how was food? Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I can cook good at my house for a lot less, right? So that was the criteria that we started with, and we basically have not changed that menu in 11 years.
I love that.
Yes.
It's remarkable how, so first of all, Sauder's Landing you guys have like 400 5-star reviews on like recommendations on Facebook, which for a restaurant is remarkable. Like the amount of fans that you have, even just in your immediate surrounding area, but also from all over the place. I was like I said, I was cyber stalking you a little bit, and I was looking at these reviews, who they're coming from, and it's from people that live directly next door. It's from people who live from all over. Like, I feel like as a restaurant, getting people to review you and to love you online is so hard. Like, it's so hard to get people to do that unless you have people that are so crazy loyal.
One or the other. Either really, really love it or really, really hated it.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get.
Yeah, totally. Right. That's so true.
Those are the people that are motivated.
I love what you were saying about how, like, just when you're operating a restaurant, like, cleaning matters so much. Talk a little bit about that, like the maintenance of things.
It's an everyday, all day thing. Okay. You spill something, you pick it up, you sweep it up. That's so simple. All right. At the end of the day, you clean every piece of equipment. Okay. You don't decide today I'm not going to do it, or tomorrow, or, we'll do it every other day.
And did you learn all that from, so your background working in corporate restaurants, like that type of where the expectations are laid out for you, and like, or did you help shape that, like some of the policies that were within your local restaurant? I think that's just
something I have. I don't know. My son is the same way now. He's very, Drew, very anal. If it's not exactly right, then it's got to be done until it's exactly right.
Wait, set the stage about so when did you get, in this whole timeline, when did you get married, and what does your wife do? And then how many kids?
Let's see, Belinda and I, my third marriage, first two were very short. Belinda and I have been married, going on 39 years, I believe, in October. So her and I met in Mansfield, Ohio at Perkins. I was a partner there at what was called Signatures back then. And we had converted the Perkins to that. And so she worked there. And so, working to get close together. And eventually what ended up happening is that we ended up getting married.
That's how restaurants are, man.
Yeah.
People, they start dating. They start dating at restaurants. They sure do. I've worked behind a bar.
Lots of relationships.
Lots of relationships, yes. It's a great place to meet someone, because I think everyone that works in a restaurant is either completely secure in what they're doing, or they have no idea what they're doing. Like, it's either one or the other. I feel like when I think about the dish pit guys and the bartenders and everyone that I've worked with, they're either totally like they've been there forever and they're never leaving, or they're in total flight. They are between jobs, they're between schools, like have no idea what they're doing with their life. And so a lot of relationships, I think, are bred because of that.
It seems like in restaurants, unlike any other environment I've been in, the people get so close.
Yeah.
They all hang out together, like at Perkins when I was working there, when I was in high school. I mean, we closed down at 2:00 on Sunday afternoons. The whole crew, including the people that were off, would come in at like 1:00, help close the restaurant down. And then there'd be 20 of us, and we'd get in our cars and we'd go down to Loudonville, and we go on a canoe trip down the river, like every Sunday.
That's how, I don't think that changed generationally or with time at all. It was like that for me in college when I bartended. We were all thick as thieves. And there's a lot of hang too. There's a lot of like hang time between shifts. You're rolling silverware. You're talking about nothing, but it's like you're talking about nothing, but you're talking about everything. Like you just get to know people on another level. I would argue that it's similar to how close. And it's funny because this is in no disrespect at all to how close, like, people get when they're working at a hospital, and it's like nurses, like in between shifts, and like there's certain careers that are just like that where there's like hang time, you know? So what ultimately spawned you opening your own restaurant now in
Because I work for corporate
later in
so
life?
long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in corporate, they tell you what to wear, when to be there, when you can have vacation. They're just, it was a good career, and it afforded me to go to Wisconsin and several different places. And we always had nice homes and all that good stuff. But at some point in time,
That's so funny the way you just worded that. Like you were born in Korea, like you got to go to Wisconsin? Like what? Of all the places you could have just said, you were like, well, I got to go to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's gorgeous. Oh my God. I mean, we lived there for like 4 years. Jim Wright, he was one of the franchisees that opened up Nashville for Perkins.
Oh, interesting.
He got tired of it and he said, screw it. Okay, I'm going to Wisconsin and I'm going to open a Shoney's franchise.
Okay.
So he goes up there, and of course, him and I were friends. And,
wow.
Great breakfast bar.
Shoney's is so underrated. Does Shoney's still exist?
Very few.
Oh,
very
man.
few. I don't know if there's any. There used to be one in Orlando, but no more.
I went to high school in Idaho, and there was one in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, next to the Perkins, actually.
Great breakfast bar.
Yeah.
So after he'd been there like a year or two, and he was an older gentleman, and he got tired of it. And so he contacted me and said, all right, here's the deal. I want you to come up here. I want to grow the franchise. I've got 2 units, and, I'm tired. Come on up. So we visited, and I mean, spring, summer, and fall are just so gorgeous.
They are.
And you're so alive up there because nature is like in your face.
Oh, yeah. So vibrant.
So, and the winters are so long, you either get out or you got to move.
Where in Wisconsin were you?
It was Hudson.
Where's that?
Back in the day, that was 5,000 people, right on the St. Croix River, the cleanest river, I think top 10 cleanest rivers in the country at that time. About 30 miles east of St. Paul, Minnesota, and Twin Cities.
Got it. Okay.
So we moved up there, and you have to do the snowmobiling, you have to do the sledding, you have to do it all. There was amazing. There were streams where you could actually go, and during the time when the fish were spawning, you could literally put your arms into the water and just have handfuls of fish coming up. That's how amazing that was.
That's so cool. Yeah.
You'd drive, you'd see deer, you'd see everything.
Yeah.
Loved it.
My husband worked during the pandemic. He worked for the Brewers. My husband works in baseball, and he was stationed in Appleton, Wisconsin, to babysit basically what's called in baseball like the taxi squad, or like the squad that they kept on ice basically to bring up to the big leagues if needed.
Minors,
yeah, and because also during the pandemic it was super lean. They only had the 2 teams, and so we were in Appleton. Like we went and visited him, and I just remember being like, "This is everything that Disneyland. Like this is it." There's no better place than Wisconsin in the summer. I don't think there's a better place. Full stop. And then it got a little bit colder into the fall. And I I grew up in Germany. I'm from Idaho, but I don't think there's
cold.
I don't think there's anything like Wisconsin cold. Like it freezes your eyeballs. Like your eyeballs freeze. And that's that. It is so cold.
You can blow
dark.
You can blow bubbles and they'll freeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
And break when they fall to the ground. That's pretty cool.
I think that it keeps everyone from moving to Wisconsin.
The winter.
Which is a good thing for
can't deal with it.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so corporate career. Belinda, does she end up working in restaurants too?
She was a server at Perkins when we first met, and then during our stint with Perkins, she also was a manager.
Okay.
There too, and then for the first 7 years, the wife always said, "I'm never having babies." One day she wakes up and the biological clock went bang. She said, "We're going to have babies." So at that point in time, then we were in a situation where she didn't have to work, so she just stopped working, and we had our babies. So,
how many kids do you have?
I have 3. One from a prior marriage, which is Brandon Oliver. He is, I'm horrible. Dads never know their ages. 42, I think, something like that.
Wait, his name's Oliver? Is that what you said?
Brandon Oliver, named after father.
Oliver? Yeah. Okay,
right.
Got it. Yep.
And then we have Drew Allen. His middle name is my middle name, and he is 30. And then we have Samantha, who is 20. I hope my kids never watch this, right? She's like 3-ish.
Got it.
Something like that. She still live with us. we hope she lives with us for the rest of her life.
Wait, she graduated high school when? Do you remember the year? Class of, let me help you out here, Dad. I don't know. What year was she born?
She didn't graduate high school because she was homeschooled all her life.
Oh, really?
Yes. Drew, after the second grade, was homeschooled all his life.
Oh, okay.
My fault, kind of.
Interesting.
Because I was working with Cracker Barrel at the time. And with the scheduling being what it was, I never saw my children. Okay. On the Saturdays and Sundays, busiest days for Cracker Barrel, where's Dad at? I'm up at 4 a.m. and I'm into the restaurant. I don't get home till 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. An hour later, the kids are going to bed.
Yeah.
So selfish as it might have been, I said, we got to do something. At the same time, Drew was having issues in school because Drew is, like I told you, he's very anal, okay? He knows what right is and he knows what wrong is. And if the teacher tells him something that he knows is wrong, he's going to call it out.
Okay.
So Mom had a few conferences and they kind of came to a mutual agreement, the principal and her, that Drew probably should be homeschooled. So that's where the homeschooling starts.
Got it. Super trendy now, like everyone's homeschooling.
Everybody's doing
now.
it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, back in the day, the kids were in school for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
2 hours of homework. Well, at homeschooling, they were in class for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then, I was at work and then the wife Belinda would take them to the museum or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
That's interesting. Also, before the internet.
Yeah.
I'm actually, Samantha would have been with the internet, but you would have been before really being able to do homeschooling online.
Yeah. The kids kind of grew up with internet, but not quite.
Yeah. I'm Drew's age, and we're the first generation of where we had we're like the first social media profiles. Like we had them, like we were the first people on Facebook. We were the first people, like that wave of, if you're between the ages of like 36 and 40 right now, it's like that first wave of just internet things too. Like we had in college, we had the first real portals, like where you were registering for things in the portal that was, affiliated with the university, whatever.
Yep.
And actually what's interesting is I'm sure you actually know when the first like POS system or the like maitre d' and aloha or whatever what are those called? The POS?
Yeah. POS systems.
Yeah. Do you remember when you installed the first one?
Yeah. Pretty basic stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Back in the day. Yeah. Mm. And now it's, we just switched to Toast.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Do you like it?
My daughter loves it. Okay. But she's very computer literate. Dad is old and I'm not computer literate, right? And my thought was, because we were on Clover before, very simple, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so I thought Toast would be just as simple or maybe even more intuitive. Well, I'm finding out that I'm just not that intuitive. Okay.
Well, is it your job?
Where Samantha, I mean, she didn't even listen to the training. She's just flying all over the thing. Like,
oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So,
Toast is a fascinating company. Like they're on a rocket ship to the moon.
And
right now.
The capacity and the capability of that system, amazing. But I'm a slow 70-seater. Okay. I can take a pad and a paper and I can run my restaurant just off of that.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm kind of used to doing. But, this, if you had, a 600-seater, amazing what that could do for you. Give
me some context there. So a normal like Perkins size restaurant or a normal IHOP. Actually, I guess those are different. How many?
Perkins usually seats somewhere around 100, 150.
Okay. What about an Applebee's?
Applebee's about the same.
Okay.
Okay. Not a whole lot bigger, but sales wise, you're probably talking $2-3 million a year. Applebee's, the ones that are like really like Jersey, really busy. But those things are doing like 8, 9, 10 million a year.
I miss the quesadilla burger so much.
Did they take it away, Applebee's?
Yes, they took it off the menu.
Really?
Yes. Can you verify that later? Like it was off the menu, and then a bunch of us on social media got after it and we're like, bring it back. It's the best thing on the menu.
I mean,
how are you going to take away the quesadilla burger?
Look at the Cracker Barrel thing that just happened here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Why did I love Cracker Barrel? Because it was the building that I liked. It had all the nostalgia stuff that I liked. It had all the old candies that I liked. It had the food I liked.
Yes. Why change it? Don't change it.
No.
Don't rock the boat. They had did you ever work at a Chili's? Ever manage a Chili's?
No.
I very infamously, my social media audience knows this, I love Chili's with a capital L. Like I love Chili's. I love Applebee's. I love them all. I love the little stupid chains. I do. And when I say stupid, I'm saying that kind of, actually I shouldn't call them stupid. We're in an area, a very like bougie area here, right? Where like there are a lot of foodies, and me jokingly loving Chili's is
Change.
genuinely like almost like a brand misalignment. Like I should be like going to, and it's
Are you shunned by your group? It's like,
yeah. Well, and
where's she going to eat?
It's funny. It's funny actually, the polarizingness of, because I'm kind of a lightning rod, and with my opinions, and like if I have an opinion, I have an opinion. And I put myself through school working at 5-star restaurants, and I think when you see behind the veil, you appreciate, it kind of loses its luster. Like a great steak is going to be a great steak, and great food is going to be great food. But I think things lose its luster where I would almost rather sit with a basket of great fries on a patio somewhere than paying $1,000 for. Does that make sense?
It's about the food, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not about, it's nice to sit in a nice ambiance. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. I love sitting on the water, but typically what I find is that any place that's on the water usually has mediocre food, and they charge an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Because they can.
Yeah, it's true.
People will pay it.
Okay, let's go back to, because I need to get there for my own sanity. Like I need to hear the rest of the story. So how do you end up, do you own Sauder's Landing? Do you own the land?
No.
That it's on?
Do you lease that? Because the marina itself is a whole entity by itself inside of Nettles Island.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
For anyone that isn't familiar with Nettles Island, I really want to set the stage here and just be super clear that our audience understands this. Nettles Island is extremely unique. Is it a man-made island?
So most of it is, yes. So there was actually 4 different sections to Nettles Island. There's the mainland part, and that's where the park started. And the story goes, I think it was like back in the 70s, some guys from the Midwest, maybe Michigan or Ohio, decided to come down. They wanted to open this thing, okay? So eventually how they kind of marketed it was that apparently if you bought the property on Nettles Island, they would give you like 2 weeks free. You bring your trailer down and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
It's a trailer.
It was
park,
a trailer park.
right? Yeah.
Okay. And as you drive in, that's kind of what you see. And so, a lot of people that aren't familiar with Sauder's Landing, number one, they don't, it's like, oh my God, it's a guard gate. I can't go. And so many times we get the call, hey, we were just there, but there's a guard gate. You were at the right place. You just have to go there and tell them you come to the restaurant. They'll let you right through. Right. So what ended up happening is that at some point in time, and there's a picture of it. I think it's actually on the wall in my bathroom, the men's room there. And you see the mainland there, and then there's like a little nub of an island that's offshore there, and apparently that's where they anchored it. And there's like 4 different pads now.
Oh, interesting.
And so I want to say there's like 1,400 different residences, and there are $2, $3, $4, $5 million homes there.
Yeah, it's crazy. The difference between, but it started as a.
And as people drive in, they think, this is not right.
It's so interesting.
This is a trailer park.
But it's crazy because if you look at the cars, so when we say trailer park, it's like not a trailer. It's like if you look at the cars and the people, it's like people that just are living in trailers on the beach, by the way, like right by the water. Yeah. And so then there's a marina, and your restaurant is in the marina. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A separate entity owns the marina and the shops and buildings that are there.
And then people can pull up on a boat, right? They can come right off the boat?
They can, but they can't. So Ian and Nicole, 22, 23, comes through, Ian takes the marina away. They start to rebuild. Nicole comes through, wipes it all out. They start doing rebuilding. About a year and a half ago, the 2 partners who were involved, they start fighting, been in court forever.
Oh,
It finally just got resolved like 2 weeks ago. So
no kidding.
in that whole period of time, 0 construction going on. So basically, the only thing that was left standing was there was a line of docks right there where the restaurant is.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of it got wiped out.
So
now they're back going to rebuild.
Okay, so the slips in front of the restaurant, so people can pull up there or no?
As long as there's an open spot.
Okay.
Okay. But because things are so limited, that's an issue. So once they get it rebuilt,
okay,
then it wouldn't be a problem again.
But it's on the water, right? Like you have like a patio that's.
Yeah, you can't even get flood insurance because it's too close.
To the water.
It's from me to her.
On the water.
Yeah, from the edge of the water is about that distance.
Like if you're sitting at your table, you can like.
Any seat in the restaurant. So we have an interior restaurant that's air conditioned. Basically a 3-season porch is what it is. And then there is a covered tiki hut, and then there is an open deck. So we added the open deck during COVID when all the Northerners was coming and they didn't want to sit inside, right? Yeah. So we did that. And from any seat, you can see water. You can see a boat.
And your thing is seafood, right? Like, is that?
It's
What
a
you're known for?
combination. I mean, we always try to have at least one or two fresh seafood choices. That's always going to be mahi. And then we have a fresh sea scallop special that we serve. Like I told you, we haven't really changed the menu in 11 years, okay?
So interesting.
Same thing with specials. We run the same specials
Really?
every day.
That's funny.
Okay. And so we have a surf and turf. I hand cut the ribeyes. We get the loin in and I cut them. And so, it's a surf and turf and it has scampi shrimp and the handmade sauce on top of that. Our vegetable of the day is always green beans. And people think green beans, that's so boring. But people
I love green beans.
love, my green beans.
I will
Amazing.
come for the green beans and stay for the.
People that don't like green beans love my green beans.
I love
All
that.
right? And so we have that. And then we have fresh sea scallops. The one item that we held over from the restaurant that I purchased was the kokomo sauce. And basically it's brown sugar, curry, and has a little red pepper in it and coconut milk. And so it's sweet and has a little zip to it because of the red pepper. And so we put that over the sea scallops on a bed of rice. And so that's our second special.
Is
And
that
then
what I should get when I come?
if you like sea scallops?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Does that have green beans
Absolutely.
though?
I'm sorry?
Does that have green?
Comes with the vegetable of the day and a side choice.
Got it.
We have award-winning crab cakes.
I saw that online.
Yes.
Crab cakes are the jam.
Crab cakes in Florida are about 40% breading anywhere you go. They may be kind of large, but still there's vegetables and there's breading in it, okay?
Mhm.
When I get a crab cake, I want crab meat and that's all I want,
Yes, same.
okay? So this is lump and jumbo lump crab meat. That's all you get,
Oh, I love that.
okay? I served a sandwich today and I put the crab cake on to heat it and it's like, there isn't much binder to it.
Yeah.
It just kind of fell apart.
Interesting.
So I just took all the pieces and I put it
On a
on.
sandwich.
And just, you know what?
That's funny. Tell me
It's
this:
great.
over the last 11 years, you haven't really changed the menu. Have you had to increase your prices?
We, funny you said that. We've held off for 2 years now to increasing prices. So this year I had to do it. So give you kind of, for instance, what's happening. Prior to COVID, fresh chicken breast, okay, it's got to be all GMO free and it's a vegetable fed, so on and so forth, right? That run about $2.29 a pound. It's now at $5 a pound.
Oh my God. For chicken breast?
Yes, fresh chicken breast.
$2.20 a pound to $5 a pound now in the last 5 years?
Since COVID.
God, that's crazy.
COVID is when it started going up, and then when things go up, and they never come down.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of the world. Okay?
Yeah.
When you had the ribeye loin, the whole loin, you get probably about 16, 17 pounds. That used to run $9 a pound. Now it's $14 a pound. And a lot of what's happening is that the slaughterhouses are having issues keeping up with demand. So of course, the limited supply, big demand, prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it. Mahi, fresh mahi used to run, most of the season, fresh mahi would run about $9 a pound. Okay. Now it's up to $20, $24 a pound. I finally called my seafood guy, New England Seafood out of Stewart, Jensen Beach. That's where we get our fresh seafood. We love them. They do a great job.
Shout out
And
New England Seafood.
Yeah, that's right. And so I called down there and I talked to him. I said, okay, what's going on with mahi? Why is the price, because during Easter, a lot of Catholics, and where the mahi, most of the commercial mahi comes from is South America now. So, in South America, they're Catholics. Okay. During Easter, what happens? Well, you know what? They take a couple, 2-3 weeks off because it's Easter season, right? They just don't work. And so during time of that year, it always goes up. But then after 2-3 weeks, it comes back down. It just didn't come back down. So I finally called and I said, what's the deal? He said, well, it has to do with that. It has to do with apparently there's some earthquakes that are going in South America. And so they're having to go miles out. And these guys, they don't have the motorized boats, okay, like what you think of big commercial fishing. These are like small, like skiffs. They go out in the ocean
To catch mahi?
catch the mahi.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, imagine.
I would love to see that.
He said that's why the supply just isn't there.
So you as a restaurant pay your vendors on, like, those prices can fluctuate?
Oh
like-
my
like-
gosh, yes. During Easter every year, it'd go $20-25 a pound.
Yeah.
And it'd come back to $9-10.
So interesting. If you think about how commerce, like you as a restaurant, though, your prices are printed on your menu what they are. And so the margin that you're running always is in flux then on what do
Absolutely.
you have to be like, do you have to get cute with like where you get your like can you get mahi from like cheaper from someone else? Like, do you rotate or like
No,
like try to game
um,
that a little bit?
no, I don't do that because once you find a good supplier that has good quality food
Mhm.
at a fair price and has good service, there's
Like you
no
don't want to
reason
mess
to
with it.
switch.
Gotta.
There's no reason to switch. And you always get the, we're from Miami and we're a big fish house. And invariably, what ends up happening is that they'll come in, they'll lowball the guy that you're using. And within 2, 3 months, they're at the same price or higher.
That's
It
where I was
just
headed with
always
that.
works.
Like if that's how it works,
That's
like
how it
where,
always is.
yeah, interesting. Huh. Are you when you guys moved? When did you move here?
Well, 11 years ago. So we lived in Boynton Beach at the time.
Okay, and you had a restaurant there too, right?
Yeah, it was the Rotelli's on Lake Avenue.
And was that were you the
It
owner
was a
of
franchise.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you were the franchisee. Is that what it's called? Got it. And so for Sauder's Landing, you are not a franchise. You are Randy Sauder, the owner.
Yep.
Right. What is your main task during the day? Like, what's the thing that you do? And then talk to me about like your staff.
All right. So it used to be that my son was the chef. Okay. And I kind of wasn't that much hands on. Okay. Then my son decided he's going to go to Ohio. And so I ended up so now I'm pretty hands on every day. So I go in every day. I open the restaurant. I open the kitchen line. I get the prep sheet ready to go. And again, we're a small place. We're only 70 seats. Now, during the summer here, this is the slow part of the season. And, when you get into January, February, March, April, that's when it's really busy. So, minimal staff. And so being the owner, you got to do everything. You wash dishes, you clean bathrooms, you cook the food. During the summer when it's slow enough, I typically end up going early when there isn't a whole lot of reservations for dinner. So that gives me a little golf time, which I really like in the afternoons.
Where do you golf? Are you a member somewhere? Or?
No, to be a member, number one, expensive, okay, as far as I'm concerned. And because I'm not that great of a golfer. Okay, if I was like a scratch golfer, yeah, all right, I'll pay $100 a round for golf. But
Sure.
No, that's not where I'm at. At the same time, I like variety. I don't want to play the same course over and over and over and over again. So I go to all different courses that are around the area. I go down to West Palm. They have a really great bunch of county courses, which are in really great shape and have some variety there.
So anyone listening to this, if you want Randy to be your guest at your club, he's a free agent.
That's right. Give me a call.
Let's go. Let's go. He's
I'm
got
willing
great.
to play. That's right. And I got some new clubs I want to use.
So tell me this at the restaurant, what do you not do? Like, what is something that you outsource or like that you hire people? What are you not good at?
And I've been doing it for 50 years. So I do everything, and I've gotten good at everything. But when you're out on the floor, you just talk to people and that's fun.
Do you like serving?
I'm not great at it, okay? Because like my daughter, okay, she's been doing it and, she can run 8 tables. No problem. Won't forget anything. They'll get great service. And
That's impressive.
She has enough time to just BS them, okay? She'll entertain them the whole bit. But me, I get to 3 tables, I start forgetting stuff. I forget to drink here and I forget to put the order in here. So, I know my limitations after all these years. So I'll take a couple, when they get stretched, I'll pop in. Typically, I don't take a table. What I'll do is I will run food. I'll get drinks, maybe, I'll take a drink order and deliver it, that type of thing.
Got it.
More
What
of a
bar
support
there?
person.
Do you have
Beer and wine.
beer and wine?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And how many servers do you have?
During season, when we're busy, we'll have 4 on the floor. Right now, during summer, Sam pretty much runs lunch all by herself, and then there'll be a second server during the evenings. And that's it.
And then in the kitchen, how many people do you have in the kitchen?
During season, we have 3, and then during the summer, it's typically 1 or 2.
Do you find that the fundamentals of running a restaurant, how much has that changed in the last, like if you look at when you started your career in the 80s to now, fundamentally running a restaurant, do you feel like it's changed
the same? I mean, there's heat, there's a product, you have to cook it to a certain temp, you have to season it a certain way. That doesn't change, not at all, really.
What about
some of the health standards have changed. It used to be, you could go up to 45 degrees. Now it's at 40, but, Pretty minimal.
What do you feel has been the biggest challenge as a restaurant manager, now owner, like transitioning into the owner, like, because you've always been so you were a manager and then a franchisee and then an owner. I guess you were you've done everything in a restaurant. Is there anything you haven't done? Have you ever been a hostess outside of being an owner? Like, were you a hostess on the clock ever?
I was never hired as a hostess and got paid as a hostess. I never did that. But, busser, disher.
What, as the owner of a restaurant, what is your biggest challenge?
These days, and it's been since COVID, it's the staffing piece. Okay. And I think that's starting to probably ease up a little bit. But there for a while, you didn't matter what you wanted to pay. You couldn't find anybody.
Interesting.
And then the quality, and you probably hear it all the time from old timers like me. It's like, the employees that I grew up having are definitely not what it is today. So, but you just have to adjust to that.
What do you mean by that? Like as far as work ethic or?
Back in the day, I mean, and it sounds really bad when I say it and I think about it.
Just
it's like, you know what, the employees, you would tell an employee to do something, they'd say, how long do you want me to do it? It was never a question. It's kind of like when I was growing up with my parents, the thought of saying no to my father never even came close to entering my mind. Never once. Even when I was in my teens. Okay. And now my kids say no to me all the time. Like, what is going on? It really pisses me off.
And what pisses me off so much is I don't know how to fix it. Like, I don't know how to fix it at all. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
You're not doing anything wrong. That's just the way the world is.
Why are kids like that?
It's just the way the world is. So, you just got to deal with it, adapt.
Yeah, I think that's relatable, I think, for any business owner. The workforce is different. Even from when I started my career, in restaurants when I was 15, 16 years old, I think everything just feels different now. And I don't know that it's a work ethic thing, or I ask that question of everybody, like, what is it? Like,
it really is work ethic, and it's taking pride in what you do. It's like, it's a paycheck. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it is,
I think a lot of it is pride in what you do in terms of what you physically do. Like, I think we had an intern this summer so I always have interns. And this summer we had the most talented group of kids. They made me believe in Gen Z again, I'll tell you. And one of the kids was so handy. He could do things like he could hang a picture. And it was like we were all so impressed by Hunter being so handy. But you rewind, 30 years, and he would have been 100% normal for a dude to know how to do things. Like, none of the kids know how to drive a stick. Right? Yes, yeah. Expected. It's so funny because we were like, oh my God, it's so nice having a kid that's handy, because nobody knows how to do anything.
And
anything.
I would guess that's good parenting right there.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. And he's a Southern boy. Like, he goes to University of Tennessee. And that's not a shot. By the way, this is not a shot at like any of the other kids, but it was just so rare. Like, what was it that we were having? We needed the AC filters changed. And some of these kids were looking at me like, I don't know what an AC filter is.
I don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah,
probably, right?
Yeah, yeah. What's really interesting is you work in an industry that so many of us cut our teeth in and learned work ethic off the back of.
You got to wonder what percentage of the world population has actually worked in some kind of food service during their younger years. Because that's kind of where it's an entry point into the workforce, isn't it, for so many people?
Yeah, it really is.
Right?
It really is. I think what's really interesting, what you're describing. So do you have a staffing issue now, or has it gotten better?
No, because, I mean, the fact that we're only 70 seats makes it so much easier. Okay? So, like, for instance, when COVID happened and we got shut down for takeout only, it wasn't an issue, okay? Because myself, my daughter, my son, and his girlfriend, we ran the place. Yeah. So there really wasn't a whole lot of payroll going on there, right? So it's the same thing. It's you just adjust in times that if either you get busier than expected or you're down one, you just work a little harder. Okay. And then you got to let your crew know, you know what, there's only so much you can do. Don't get stressed out. Mm-hmm. Do as much as you can do. That's all you can do. And so many people, it's like, oh my God, I can't get there. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Get what you can. And our customers know us enough that, they appreciate, when we're busy, so many people sit in a restaurant, and you probably do it because you work in restaurants. You sit in a restaurant, you watch, don't you?
I love it.
What's going on?
I love watching.
Where's the manager? I haven't seen the manager like 20 minutes. Where the hell is he? Right.
Yeah.
So, I do the same thing. And
I love trying to guess who's dating who. It's the most fun game. Yep. Who's dating who? Who has dated who? Yeah. Who the most senior server is. So if you're sitting in like a big restaurant, like who's being trained, who's new, who's everybody mad at? You can always tell, like you can tell if you're a relationship kind of person. Like there's always the one scapegoat on the server stuff. Again, it's like if you're looking at like the big restaurant, who everybody loves, who everybody doesn't like. And then there's always the funny guys in the dish pit and on the line. Like those guys are always the best. I feel like the guys that work on the line are always the funniest, best dudes, and women, I guess not too. What advice would you have for anyone that is opening a restaurant as an owner? What advice do you have?
I didn't do it. When we opened, we bought the place and signed the papers June 1, 2015. The plant and the place was dirty. Okay. It had just horrible equipment, so on and so forth. But I didn't have a whole lot of money to start it. Okay. So the plan was, let's get it going. Let's make some money, and then we'll clean it. And we actually took some time to do that. But as far as the equipment and replacing it, we can't afford to do that right now. So what we'll do is we'll do a piece at a time. That was the plan. So first thing you got to do is you got to transfer the beer and wine license. So I go to Fort Pierce and I go into the office and I say, I'm here to transfer the beer and wine license. And the first question out of her mouth goes, do you have the fire department sign off on this? I thought, what's the fire department got to do with a liquor license, right? But it's one of the rules. So I called the fire marshal out. I meet him there at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is the same day because I want to open that day. Okay. I want some sales. And so he walks in, he steps in 3 steps into the restaurant, looks at the hood. He said, that is out of code. I thought.
The hood?
Yeah. I thought in my mind, because I didn't say it, I'm smart enough not to go there.
Yeah.
I thought it's been here for like 30 years. How can it be out of code all of a sudden? But apparently because of the transfer of ownership, whatever, they can now say it's out of code. So
you lose like grandfather power, like it's not grandfather.
So now he tells me, yeah, not in code. What do I have to do? He goes, you got to replace it. There goes my opening that day, right? So eventually as you get into it, you find out that once you start doing something in one of the bays in that building, then you have to bring everything up to code. Nothing was in code. Not to today's standards, right? So basically, we took that and we stripped it all the way down to the cinder block, took it all out, rebuilt it all, new electrical, new plumbing, so on and so forth. We didn't open until September 30th.
Oh my gosh.
And there were so many times it's like I looked at the wife and said,
what are we doing?
What are we doing? Maxed out every credit card we had, took everything out of our savings. And so it's like, wow. So that would be aware that the what ifs, you need to think about those a lot more than I did, make sure you got plenty of cash.
Yeah.
Plenty of cash.
Relatable for me. When I bought this building, I ended up taking it down to the cinder blocks too. Cause it's like once I started, this was an old warehouse. And once I started it's like also, I think when you own a business and you take pride in your work and pride in what you're putting your name on, like your name is on the door, Yep. I didn't trust the electrical. Like I could have left it, but I didn't trust it. I feel like once you start seeing one shenanigan, then it all.
If it's bad here, what about this, right?
Yep. If they put duct tape on this, I don't even want to know what they put behind the wall.
Yep. And that's usually what happens when you buy a place that's been existing,
Well, and as a business owner, I can relate too. Like I never once judged the businesses that were in here before because, everyone's just trying to make it work. Like I never would run my business like that, but I know it's hard as a business owner. It is hard. I still have 1,000 questions for you about your story and how you end up here in South Florida. Yeah.
I got emotional when I talked about my sister, right? If you think about it, in this world of 7-8 billion people, her and I are the only 2 blood relatives that we know, other than our children.
Yeah. That is so thought-provoking to me. Like it's so thought-provoking. And how, I'm such a firm believer in the butterfly effect. And are you familiar with that? And just the universe, I would say the universe is universing, like it's doing its thing. And I think your story is just incredible. Like it's not lost on me how emotional that made you. Yeah. Do you talk to her like every day?
No,
Oh, really?
we're not that way.
Oh, really?
Okay. It may be once every month and a half when, and typically it happens on Sundays. I'm driving into work and I give her a call and say, hey, what's going on right before she goes to church. So, and then whenever, every once in a while, they'll come to Florida to visit. And then every September when we go, of course, then she gets all the kids together and we have a big to do at the farm.
What is, tell me this, when you're at a like family get together, or if you're hosting your family and you have a commercial kitchen, what are you making your family?
I don't cook at home.
You don't?
I don't.
No way.
I don't like to cook at home.
Oh, really?
Cooking at home and cooking in a restaurant are completely two different things.
That's
Okay,
fair.
the equipment is just not even close. So what I'm used to cooking is on the flat top and on a grill and so on and so forth, and having the saute pans, and you don't have that at home. And so my wife Belinda we're old school, and she was raised that way, and I was raised that way. She's a very devout Christian. And so she believes in, God says that, the wife is supposed to take care of the husband, and the husband is supposed to support the wife and make sure she has a home and the things that she needs. And that's kind of how our relationship has been for 39, 40 years.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So,
I respect that. That's, yeah, it's that to me is it's so interesting because it's so outside the realm of how I operate with my husband, but I also respect it so deeply too. It's interesting. Growing up in Germany, Germans are very traditional in a lot of ways, despite also prioritizing like women having just an insane maternity leave. Like they prioritize women's careers, but also are on the back end pretty traditional in that way.
right.
It's interesting the hours that you work in a restaurant that you've made, that your marriage has worked that way. So when you come home at night after closing the restaurant, does she have a meal waiting for you, or do you eat at the?
Usually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Are your kids, do you guys go to church up there?
Now, Bindi and my daughter, they found a place down in West Palm. They go there on Sundays, but I'm at the restaurant. So the wife's been at me. It's just like, you need to start closing on Sunday and maybe be open Monday, Tuesday, or whatever to make the difference up. So.
Yeah. It's interesting to me, the Chick-fil-A, the way Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays, how admirable that is, and how, like, working in the service industry and in hospitality, it's just the fact that we go to church as a society on Sunday, it takes hospitality and real estate agents too, not for nothing, like it takes them out of the game to be able to even go to church or participate in that way,
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because I think that that's one adjustment that I feel like society should maybe make, like giving.
Revert back to, right?
Yeah.
Because at one point in time, everything was closed on Sundays, and 90% of the population went to church on a Sunday.
Yeah. In Germany, everything's, and especially my small town, everything was closed on Sunday. It's changed a little bit now. Like we used to have to, on Sunday, if we needed some kind of grocery, something, we would have to get on the Autobahn to go to a rest stop gas station. Because that was like the only thing that would be open, like the gas station within.
That's pretty extreme, right?
Yeah, and it was a workaround. Like we figured that out like a couple of years into my childhood. Yeah, that you could go to the rest stop gas station and they would have like Coca-Cola, or whatever, or the airport. The airport always had stuff that was open. All right, tell me this. What have I not asked you that you find is, what do people ask you when they find out that you're the owner of a restaurant? Like what's the thing that people always want to know?
I don't really talk about that when I'm out in public, to tell you the truth. Over the years, like when we were in Mansfield, Ohio, okay, small city. And so, you'd go into Kroger's and 50% of the people that were in the Kroger's knew you, right? And so that can be good. Mm-hmm. That can also be kind of a pain in the butt. So, when I'm out there, I don't really, my wife is the one that's, hell, we have a restaurant. Here's the card, so on and so forth. She's much more that. Me, I'm just, I'm kind of laid back.
Tell me this, being the manager and the owner constantly of restaurants, like does everybody know Randy? Like when they come in and they're like, oh, I'm a friend of Randy. It's like, does that happen a lot?
You get that a lot. Absolutely. Yeah.
How often are they a friend of Randy's? Like, do you have a lot of?
There are a lot of people that I do know, and they say, but every once in a while, 2-3 times a year, And it's funny because my daughter is the one that's basically out there, okay? And so the person that really doesn't really know me is telling my daughter that, oh yeah, Randy and I know each other. We've known each other for a while, so on and so forth. And Sam, she can smell out bullshit like really quick. And so she'll just, yeah.
She clocks it like
yeah, and then she'll come back to the kitchen and she'll say, hey, guy
table 7. Clean up
42. This is what he just told me. And I'll peek eyes and don't know who that guy is. Sorry.
Never heard of it.
It happens.
You have kind of I always think that the restaurant owners have kind of a social responsibility to be like you're like, if you own, I mean, if you're Sauder of Sauder's Landing, like you are on stage when you're out on the floor. Does that get tiring or?
I guess I really don't think about it. I'm just who I am, That's just what it is. I don't think about, what are people seeing when I'm out on the floor, okay? Because like I'm cooking in the middle of a dinner shift, I may want to go out and say something and I'll be covered in flour and whatever. And I'm going out to the table and I say, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you.
Yeah. Do you like making rounds and like talking to people?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's always fun. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is there a story like over the years, like a story with that involved like a server or like is there like a funny story that is like a crowd pleaser? Like what's the?
I mean, over the course of 50 years, there've been thousands, literally, of employees that I've interacted with. Probably the best chef I ever had was Mike. That was at Rotelli's. He was amazing. Wife and I went to Hawaii twice. The first time we went, we ate at Tom Selleck's restaurant, and it was called the Black Orchid. And I thought I'd be adventurous, and I'd never had calamari before, right? So I said, all right, I'm going to order calamari. And I got it. And it was like, why is everybody so excited about calamari? Because it was tough, okay? I couldn't hardly chew it. And so from that day, and this is back in the 80s, I never had calamari in my life again. And so we're opening up Rotelli's, and he's my chef. And Mike says, hey, you want some calamari? I said, no, Mike, I don't like calamari. He says, why? Why don't you like calamari? Because it's tough. I don't know why people like it. You're going to love my calamari. And sure enough, he cooked it up. And it's like, oh my God, that's not even close to what I had in Hawaii. It seems like people tend to, like with seafood, they tend to overcook it. And calamari, they'll leave it in there until it floats. It's kind of,
interesting.
It's been, it's kind of like the cook's way of knowing that something in a fryer is done. It's floating, it's done. Okay.
Oh, really?
That's how it used to be back in the day. Now everything we do is a therm. Okay, 145 degrees, you pull it.
Wait, is that with everything or just seafood? Like if it floats, it's like that's like
anything in a fryer used to be. If it's floating, it's ready to come out.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Oh, that's the way it was. So, but now it's it's all thermed, and if you calamari, it's only down there for like 20 or 30 seconds.
You have calamari.
It's amazing.
Is it?
It really is. The most tender calamari you've ever had. Homemade marinara sauce too. That's the other thing. The combinations. You can have a great piece of fish, but if you have a horrible tartar sauce that goes with it, why bother?
Yep.
But the same token, you can have a good, decent piece of fish. If you have a great tartar sauce, they're gonna love it.
Are you critical when you go out to eat?
Oh my God, we're horrible.
Really?
The whole family is horrible.
Really?
Oh my God. When I do go out, our expectation through the 11 years that we've been there is that when we ask somebody, especially first timers, how was that crab cake, or how was that key lime pie, or how was the peanut butter pie? If we don't get oh my God, that was amazing, something went wrong. Oh, okay, that's the standard. My wife makes a peanut butter pie. It's an old Amish recipe from Ohio, and it stands about 3 inches thick. And to this day, because I eat desserts, but not really, and when I do, I'll binge. But like when we take the peanut butter pie and we actually mark it, you take the marker out, and what do you do with the marker? You taste the peanut butter pie that's on it, right?
Yeah.
And I do that, and I think, oh my God, that is so good.
I love that.
You forget about
like
it.
It's a crowd pleaser,
right?
every time, and you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So is that what are the things on your menu that are like, people go nuts over?
Well, crab cakes or clam chowder is amazing. I've been told by people that have traveled the world, I'm talking going to Italy, best clam sauce they ever had in their life.
Oh, really? Yes. Wait, what do you mean by clam sauce? Like
linguine white clam sauce.
That's my favorite thing in the entire world.
The best.
I could drink it.
Amazing.
You have that on your menu?
Oh, yeah.
Is it
under pasta?
Okay, got it. God, I missed that. Green beans.
Amazing.
We got to go, Ashley. Have you been? Have you been to Nettles Island before? No. Have you heard of it? No. It's so, you're going to look on, I'm going to show you on a map later.
French fries.
Wait, your French fries are good?
The best.
Wait, why are they good?
Because it's got to be in Idaho. You can't get a russet from Florida. Okay. It just doesn't have the right sugar content. So you get the Idaho potato and you hand cut it, and then you rinse it off and get the dirt, and you get the starches off of it, and then you blanch it, and then you cool it. And then when you order it, it's a 30-second process, and it's nice and crispy, and it comes out. It almost tastes sweet.
Wait, you hand cut your French fries?
Yeah. The stuff that you get in most restaurants is frozen.
Yeah.
Or has the ones that have the coating, that's definitely frozen. Not even close.
So you hand cut.
Yeah. Well, you have a.
Yeah, but you're preparing the potato. You turn actual potatoes into French fries. Yeah. Like the manual process.
During the summer, we'll go through maybe 50, 75 pounds. During season, more like 400 to 500 a week.
What we were talking about before, what the cost per pound of a potato now versus COVID. Do you remember? Did that go up?
I can't remember what the last price. It's kind of come back. And during COVID, it went up. But I think a case of 90 count, 50 pound is around about $25, $28 a case, which is it's great.
That's good. Yeah.
The stuff is, as a kid, I went to Richland County Fairs. They have the hand-cut French fries there. That's what they are.
That's so interesting.
Oh, it's so good.
Did any of the chains that you worked for,
no,
did any of them make
chains
them?
Don't have fresh food. That's the thing. Okay, it's all processed. Now, some of it can be pretty good. There's no doubt about it. But
quesadilla burger.
Yeah. With Applebee's, they had some things that were really good that I enjoyed. They have a great barbecue ribs, really good. Okay, yeah. Their chicken tacos are really good. Their steaks are horrible.
I think if you're ordering a steak at Applebee's, you're living life wrong in general.
But then on the flip side, I mean, is any steak worth $100?
That's what I was saying earlier about when you see behind the veil, like I do respect people that are steak people that genuinely enjoy that.
Maybe Kobe beef, something like that.
Yeah, why? Yeah,
but
I'm with you. And I'm at peace with that too. You know, do you guys have lobster? Do you guys do? Do you ever do lobster?
Nope. Something that we've never really gotten to is that fresh shell stuff. You have to track it. You have to make sure that you have the proper and I don't really have a whole lot of experience with that. So I kind of tend to keep away from stuff that I don't really know much about.
Stay in your lane.
The closest I've ever gotten to buying shell food is my son loves oysters. Mm-hmm. So when he comes to Ohio or comes from Ohio, he says, "I'm coming in. You need to get me a tub of oysters." And so that's what I do, and I bring him home and he eats them during the time that he's there. So, but that's about all I do with that.
That could be such a cool because you can get restaurant prices on things. Right? So you can get restaurant prices on.
Theoretically, it's wholesale, but it's still expensive. So, at one point in time, Alaskan king crab is probably my favorite.
Oh, I love king crab.
Okay, of all. A stow crab is just too much work. Okay.
Agreed.
It's just too much effort.
Agreed.
But a snow crab, I mean, it was at one point in time during COVID, they were charging $100, $150 per pound in a restaurant. It's like, wow.
Yeah. And Costco was this, it was like, are the prices at Costco, they're still elevated from what you pay?
Sometimes it kind of fluctuates, because I get my fresh meat from a local purveyor there in Guy's Meats out of Fort Pierce.
Shout out Guy's Meats.
Okay. And our produce we get from Ernest and Produce. And Joe is amazing.
Shout out Ernest.
So anyways.
Wait, Ernest. Joe? Got it?
Yeah. Joe is my sales guy's name. Anyways, I belong to BJ's. And so there are times when I check. Okay. Yeah. And the red meat, the premium cuts of red meat has gone up probably 50% now in the last year and a half. And so I check at BJ's and they're at the same place. So the prices are somewhat comparable. Usually BJ's ends up being just, $1, $2 a pound more.
It's got to make you feel at least a little bit okay with it. Like that you're not, that sucks though. Man, running a business is so hard to begin with. And when you have that fluctuation, it's like you can't go to your cook and be like, hey, price of red meat's up, so I got to bring you, it doesn't work like that. Tell me this, on your menu, Okay, last two questions. On your menu, what is your favorite thing when people order because the margin is good for you?
I guess I never really think about that part of it. One of the things, theory of food cost. One of the things that I learned at Cracker Barrel when I worked there was that you don't necessarily want to promote something that is high margin, okay? Because again, this depends on what scenario. And okay, they're high volume and they make a whole lot of money by turning their tables, right? So with Cracker Barrel, their philosophy was, you know what? If we have a $14 steak and we have a $7.99 chicken dumpling platter, which do I want to promote more? And their theory is you promote the chicken and dumplings. It's a great product.
Margin's better.
The margin isn't, I mean, margin's good, but the gross profit is not as much per plate, but you get to turn that table so much faster because the cook time is nothing. It's all on a steam table.
Okay.
You get a chicken and dumpling, you put the dumplings off the steam table, corn, green beans, hash browns, you're out in the window in like 20 seconds.
Okay.
So you're turning that table in a half hour, or with a steak, it may take you an hour.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
yeah,
you guys
it's really interesting. Like that. I always our audience here is it's a lot of business owners and it's a lot of people that are entrepreneurs, and so that question might seem off-putting to some, but I feel like our audience would be like, all right, Randy, tell me what it is that you make more money on, and I will support that thing. If it's French fries, I'm ordering a big old basket of French fries. When you look back on your career, would you do it again?
Oh, boy, that's a hard question. To be really honest, if I could do it all over again, okay, I probably would have chosen MIT and gone that direction instead of being in restaurants all my life. But that's not the way it went. So had I not done what I had done, I wouldn't have met Belinda, the love of my life. I wouldn't have my 3 amazing children. All those things, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably one thing.
I think, okay, so do you enjoy what you do at Sauder's Landing?
I do. I mean, are there days when I think, shit, I don't want to go in? There are days like that. But for the most part, yeah, I enjoy what I do because, I'm good at what I do. And, I enjoy talking to the guests that are out there and the crew. I love my crew. So, we're like a little family because we're a small number of people. And because of that, you become close knit.
Do you have people that come in, like regulars that are like ride or die loyal regulars?
And it's not, we have regulars that are local. We have regulars that are seasonal. Okay, we have a lot of them that will be, we just pulled in this afternoon, you're the first place.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
And what are they ordering?
This is the last night. We're leaving out in the morning and we're at your place.
I love that. What are they ordering? What are those?
They order the same thing every time too. Okay, they'll wait the whole year. Okay, Parmesan encrusted chicken. They'll come in and they'll order that. Or the scallops, it's like, oh, what? You don't have any scallops tonight? What's going on? So, but yeah, it's, they're like me. I'm a creature of habit. When I go into a restaurant, I know exactly what I'm going to order because I found something at that restaurant that I really like. Okay. And so rather than try something else, it's like, I could get disappointed there. Why would I do that?
I think your restaurant really speaks to people that are creatures of habit because your career was like that. And going back to what we were talking about, I think I like chili so much because I've moved around so much. And what we were talking about the Perkins pancake, I think people that love chains are creatures of habit. And just enjoy what's your order at Applebee's? What's your favorite thing on the menu there?
I'm either going to get I'm definitely going to get French onion soup, and then I'm going to get chicken tacos. And if I'm really hungry, then I'm going to get the barbecue ribs. Those are the 3 things that are always my Applebee's thing.
I love that. Okay, so you're participating in Flavor South Florida.
Yep.
I have to hit this for Carrie. Flavor South Florida. Is this your first year participating?
It is.
I love that for you. We love Flavor here. Love, love, love. Tell me what your special is, or what's your menu for Flavor?
Got a whole bunch, so it's hard to do. And I didn't actually create something new. And basically, I just took the items that were on the menu and I just made a listing of that as far as what was available.
God, you really are people like what they like at Sauder's Landing. I love that. Are the green beans on the Flavor menu?
It's part of the entree. So any entree you get, well, other than fried food is always going to be the hand-cut fries and the pineapple coleslaw as an automatic. If you want to switch off, you can do that. But any other entree that you're going to get, dinner entree, it's always going to come with a vegetable of the day and a side choice, whatever you want.
Got it. People that are going up to Nettles Island for flavor, because there are people that are serious about this, where they want to try to hit. One of my agents, Alex, is trying to hit all of them. They're
Is
like
that
over
right?
And it is.
See, I had no idea.
Oh my God, this is so funny. So Carrie challenged him to. She said that if he can hit every single one, because there's over 100 this year. If he can, in the month of September, if he can hit every single restaurant, she's gonna give him $500 cash, and I'm gonna give him $500. So it's $1,000 for him to go. And yours is one of the furthest north. So
this is like what, Boca to Vero?
Yeah. Yep. So what should he order on the flavor menu at Sauder's Landing?
Well, probably the crab cakes. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Got it. Okay, crab cakes at Sauder's Landing, and a basket of fries. And a side of green beans. That's my order.
Handmade onion rings, the best you ever had.
Handmade onion rings? You make them by hand too?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing's frozen there, right? Let's go. I want to go. Do you want to have a date night up there? Randy, thank you so much for being here. I could talk to you all day. I can imagine you're going to come back as a guest because I'm going to have like follow-up questions for everything that we talked about. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Meeting. Yep.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was great meeting you. Really great meeting you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you so much for listening to In the Hype Seat. My name is Holly Meyer Lucas. If you have a guest recommendation for us, anyone with a cool story or with a journey that we should be sharing here on the Hype Seat, please let me know. You can listen to all the In the Hype Seat episodes wherever you get your podcasts, and you can submit any guest ideas. Even if it's yourself, go ahead and submit it to us at inthehypeseat.com. Please go and support Sauder's Landing in Nettles Island. You can follow them on Facebook. Like I said, they have like almost 400 reviews on Facebook. You can follow them there. And if you want to go get some green beans, you know where to find my guy, Randy.